Oh god. Trying my hardest not to completely spill my drink. Did that do anything useful? I like it better without. I don't look as oily. Now I gotta check levels on Dish Beach. Let's go. The Alamo. Gonna take 2 seconds to make sure all the levels for all the audio is good as per usual. You're probably, there's a good chance you're gonna hear my husband in the background. He's playing a Rage Out game. That right there, let me see if I can adjust the gain a little bit, and maybe that'll help with it a little. Also, the music seems a little loud. Music seems a tish loud. And then, hello. Yeah, why is the music so loud? Jesus Christ. Jesus. Absolutely Jesus. Jesus and a butternut biscuit. Does this sound better? Nope, you should still pretty much hear my husband. That's fine. Maybe just a tish bit more adjusted. Well, that's fine. I think this is better. I think we're doing good. Yeah? Vibes chill? Did we pass the vibe check? Okay. So. Okay. Well, so. Let me get us going now. Salutations, friends. My name is Brianna Sukiyon Bond, otherwise known as No Ordinary Scholar, and welcome to my Q4 reading wrap-up. I've been meaning to do this for a hot minute because, you know, Q4 for 2021 is over and all that. But I have not gotten to because, like, life has been pretty rough right now. So, honestly, kind of shocked I have the motivation to do it now. But we're going to do it. We're going to make it work. And it's going to be great. And then after this, I believe, can't remember if it's tomorrow or Friday, but I've scheduled and planned out to do my favorites video, which I'm very excited for, just to gush about. Please do not try and hit the light nugget. You're too far away for that. Which I'm very excited for, just gushing about books that I loved this year. Let's get into it. How I usually do my wrap-up videos is I am going to show you the book that I read, read the description of it, the blurb of it to you, so you know, like, what the gist of the story is, and then kind of tell you, like, what I loved about it, all that good shenanigans. So, let us start with the first book I read this quarter, which was Meet Cute Diary. Let's go ahead and find it on Goodreads. Meet Cute Diary by Emery Lee. Noah Ramirez thinks he's an expert on romance. He has to be for his popular blog, The Meet Cute Diary, a collection of trans happily ever afters. There's just one problem. All the stories are fake. What started as the fantasies of a trans boy afraid to step out of the closet has grown into a beacon of hope for trans readers across the globe. When a troll exposes the blog as fiction, Noah's world unravels. The only way to save the diary is to convince everyone that the stories are true, but he doesn't have any proof. Then Drew walks into Noah's life and the pieces fall into place. Drew is willing to fake date Noah to save the diary, but when Noah's feelings grow beyond their stage romance, he realizes that dating in real life isn't quite the same as finding love on the page. In this charming novel by Emery Lee, Noah will have to choose between following his own rules for love or discovering that the most romantic endings are the ones that go off script. This book, I gave it a 5 stars, as you can see, as you can lovely see. I gave it 5 stars. I thought it was super cute, like playful. Drew, Drew, as you read in the book, fuck Drew. He was wonderfully written to be someone that I despise with every ounce of my being. And, can't stand him. But yeah, I really liked the book. I liked the premise. I loved the idea of trying to follow Noah as he's trying to figure out how to preserve the diary that he's put so much of his own personality and love and time into, and like seeing him trying to save it and protect it. I thought it was a really good story. Really enjoyed it. I will say, if you're going to look at the other reviews to see how you feel about it, be aware that a lot of it is highly misconstrued. Specifically, like, there's a thing with money and with kind of an allowance that Noah has that is highly blown out of proportion. So be aware of that. But otherwise, yeah, I thought Meet You Diary was a great book. Next, I read Peonies and Poison. This was the fourth book. We're almost done. I'm not ready, of the Diana Flowers series, which I absolutely fell in love with. Interesting. Peonies and Poison there's another book in another cozy mystery series called Peonies and Poison. Interesting. That's the rage. I've been obsessed with the series. Fergus, the main dude in the series, I'm in love with, and this book is the fourth book in the series. So, description is: Diana knows she's being framed for a crime she didn't commit, but who is out to make her look guilty and why? Speaking of secret enemies, Fergus has done something terrible. Now part of a new crime-fighting duo, Diana finds herself immersed in a deep, dark conspiracy theory. At the heart of it is a mystery that has baffled investigators for decades. The whole thing is more ridiculous than anything Fergus has ever previously believed. The worst part is, she's starting to think it all might be true. But now more than ever, she needs to find a logical answer or face accepting something that defies scientific explanation. I gave this book a 4-star purely because there's this one moment at the end of the book where, Fergus has a stalker. Don't worry about that. He has a stalker, and stalker yells at Diana, "He'll never love you," and he says that's not true. And I've been so invested in this romance that section alone bumped it up to a 4-star. My biggest issue with this book was I felt like they had 2 mysteries going on, and I think the book just kind of would have been better off with just one of them. There was this whole mystery of someone put something in Diana's cupcakes that she was making for a fair, and it killed the local vicar. He works for the church. I don't know what a vicar is, but vicars, that guy. It killed him, and I feel like that storyline did not have the heart to it that the other storyline of there's this massive conspiracy going on and focusing around this marsh in the area that seems to be related to conspiracy and stuff like that. That storyline had so much more depth and heart to it than this cupcake one, and the cupcake one kind of just felt tacked on. I don't know if it was maybe... I feel like it was because the author may have felt like the cozy murder mystery style needed to have murder happen recently to be investigated. I feel like because the other one, people were dying in the other storylines. I feel like that should have been what we go off of as the murders for the mystery of the book. But that's not what they did. They ended up adding on a second whole murder a second home murder, and it just was not didn't feel like he was treated with the same like amount of gumption that the conspiracy theory line started, because that one feels that subject felt more related to the characters themselves, and it felt more like something we were looking into and something we were like discovering, whereas the other one it just didn't feel as well done. And so this ended up actually being my least favorite of the Diana Flowers books, but I'm still excited and dreading, and I don't want to lose this series, but I have to read the last book eventually. And that's pretty much where I am with that. Next on the list is Tether Spirits by T.A. Hernandez. This book, let me read the description. A man with an unknown past. For years, Amar's traveled the Kavornan Empire seeking a way to recover his lost memories and end the curse that plagues him. With support from loyal friends, Amar may finally be on the verge of finding answers, but to do so, he'll need to enlist the help of an unexpected guide. A girl afraid of her own powers. Kasari is a... I can't pronounce this. Tarja? Kasari is a Tarja, granted magical abilities through her bond with a spirit named Lucian. Haunted by past mistakes that have left her desperate to sever her bond, Kasari has her own reason for agreeing to help Amar, but in doing so, she may finally have to face the fears she's carried ever since leaving home. And a woman on a vital mission. Meanwhile, a young refugee named Aleda is in hot pursuit, hoping the secret behind Amar's curse can save her brother from a fatal illness. With so much at stake and little left to lose, Aleda will stop at nothing to get what she wants. And when their paths collide, all three are set on a journey to unravel a mystery far deeper than they ever expected. This book goes on to... I recently made an official list, but this book is on my God tier list on Goodreads. This is one of the best books I've ever read. I haven't seen a book do such justice to mental health as this one did. I thought the premise was amazing, the world building was amazing, the writing was amazing on this book. And again, how they handled Kasari and her trauma was fantastic in this book. Oh, I can't wait for the next book to come up. I want the next book so bad. This is also one of those books. This and Lost in the Neverwoods are two books that I really want to get hardbacks of. I also want to get posters of, not like big posters, but I'm planning on printing out printing out a bunch of like images and book covers and stuff to kind of decorate my room a little bit. And this is most definitely going to be one of them. Actually, the cover of this book is currently on my screensaver for my tablet as well, because I've been doing some like cute, crafty looking collage backgrounds on my devices, and this is on one of them because I loved this book so much. It was so amazing. The story of it was it was amazing. I have a minor gripe, but it's not even really a gripe. Is I feel like his identity is he is like a prince of some magical kingdom people didn't even know exists, and we kind of get no information about that until we pretty much discover that that's where he's from. And like, it's not that big a deal. It's not like, it doesn't come off as something I should have known, or something I should have been able to guess, because it really wasn't something I should have been able to guess. My biggest issue, and again, it's not a big issue, is this magical kingdom no one knew existed. Really, the way it's described makes it seem like it should have been the easiest thing to find in the world. Like, it literally seems like the only reason no one has ever found it is because no one has chosen to follow the river in that forest to the palace, because it seems like the river leads directly there. And you're telling me that not a single person who has ever like explored in their life decided to follow the river there. That's the thing that like kind of it was like, that's a little bit jumping the shark for me. That one's a little hard to suspend my disbelief for, but like I adored this book so much that I kind of didn't care. Again, one of my favorite books on this earth. Oh my lord. Up next, Reaper of Souls by Irina, which I'm very upset because they apparently wrote some more books outside of the series, and I'm actually a really big fan of their work and that I've read so far. So I absolutely like, they have a middle grade series that I want to check out, which I feel has to be new. Like, every part of me feels like this has to be new because I feel like I've gone to this author's page. I feel like I've gone to her page before, like when I was reading these, and when I found out that there was gonna be a third book and all that, and I feel like I've gone there and did not see this middle grade series, but whatever, it's fine. I'm not bitter. I'm not salty that I didn't know about it before, but I definitely want to check out that middle grade. But Reaper of Souls is the sequel to Kingdom of Souls, which I read earlier on in the year, and this is the synopsis. After so many years yearning for the gift of magic, Ara has the one thing she's always wanted, at a terrible price. Now the last surviving witch doctor, she's been left to pick up the shattered pieces of a family that betrayed her, a kingdom in shambles, and long-buried secrets about who she is. Desperate not to repeat her mother's mistakes, Ara must return to the tribal lands to search for help from the remnants of her parents' people. But the Demon King's shadow looms closer than she thinks, and as Ara struggles to unravel her connection to him, defeating him begins to seem more and more impossible, if that is something she can bring herself to do at all. Set in a richly imagined world inspired by spine-tingling tales of voodoo and folk magic, Kingdom of Souls is lauded as masterful by School Library Journal in a starred review. This explosive epic sequel will have readers racing to the can't-miss conclusion. I gave this book 4 stars because it was good. It was good. It was all written. It kind of felt like an in-between story. Like, to the point where, like, thinking on it now, I kind of, like, why didn't I rate it a 3-star? It felt like an in-between story. It felt like it was setting up for the next book more than anything. I was, like, fully prepared to give it a God tier book because they had this foreshadowing twist part where this person who had been made a criminal of in the kingdom for trying to help her sister, like, kill everyone. There's like a plot twist, maybe he's the Demon King, and that was fantastic, and that would have subverted expectation, and it would have, like, been something that added so much to every interaction we had with him, and it was just so interesting, and it made me want to think more about the book and stuff like that. This had the opposite effect of like, the actual storyline they had changed it to a matter of, no, it's not this random dude who, like, now we have to figure out how his plan fits into everything we know about the character of the Demon King. It turns into, instead, oh, this random human boy that's been pining after her is actually a Demon King that's been pining after her. And now it's added more plot holes than there were previously in specifically these scenes that were around when they were looking for the other tribes and looking for survivors from the other tribes, where, like, we don't know if, like, how these portals are happening for this, how the portal system is happening when the Demon King is not, like, the Demon King is not doing it because he does not approve of what the other guy is doing. And there's a moment where he, like, kind of seems like he dies, and nothing really addresses how he survived it, especially how his corporeal form, the human form he's taken has survived it. It really disappointed me, and it took away the intrigue and the, like, surprise and craft of that twist when you make it a character who is, like, if he was actually just actively being the Demon King, it wouldn't have changed anything about what he did, you know? It doesn't change in any way how I think of what he did, because it's exactly the same. He is again just going from a like like random dude a friend that's pining after her, to just the Demon King who's doing the exact same things, just pining after her. That was really disappointing. I like the book itself was fine. I did spending more time with Rujek and his crew, but other than that, it wasn't a favorite. It was not my favorite. I definitely think I liked the first book more. I'm curious to see what the third book is about. It honestly kind of seems, the way it's set up, it kind of seems like it's A, going to be a little messy, and B, our main character seems like there's no real way for her to be in, like, it's going to be a battle of the gods, and she literally has no power. So I don't know how it's going to really, like, how she's going to be able to contribute in this story whatsoever, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. That was Reaper of Souls. Maybe I will change it to a 3-star on Goodreads. I don't know. Ugh. Next is this fucking trash. Next book is Dance of a Burning Sea by E.J. Mellow. Within the world of Adalor, there is a hidden place called the Thief Kingdom where both magic and pleasure abound. There, the Musai, a trio of deadly sorceresses bound by oath and blood, use their powers to protect the kingdom's treasures. Naya Bassett brings the potent gift of dance to the Musai, but behind her tempting twirls, she carries a heavy secret that the infamous pirate lord Alice Ezra has been threatening to exploit her for years. Now banished from the Thief Kingdom for smuggling, Alice resurfaces in Naya's life with a plot to hold her hostage, leveraging that he knows to extort a pardon from the Thief King. For the plot to hold your hostage, leveraging what he knows to extort a pardon from the Thief King. But Naya makes her own deal with Alice to guard her secrets and guarantee her freedom. Yet in doing so, she binds herself aboard his pirate ship, where she must navigate deadly waters, a bloodthirsty crew, and her own traitorous heart. Soon, we're gonna skip the end. I hated this book. I hated the book. First and foremost, the romance in this book was so goddamn abusive. It was an abusive romance. It was disgusting to read about. And the author's literal only defense was it wasn't rape, so it's fine. And no, the other defense was, okay, the author had 3 defenses. It wasn't rape, which is not an excuse. 2, the other excuse was he's not abusive to everyone, so he's fine, which is also not an excuse. And 3, she didn't have to fall in love with him, so it's her fault. Fucking hated this book. Also, my biggest issue, the abusive relationship was my biggest issue. Another issue I had was, so far in this book, the only ethnic characters are either in the criminal class or they are in a far-off land that pretty much no one really can reach. And they're constantly, them and their like ways and their like and their areas are described as wild. And it's, every time the authors use the word wild in this book has made me extremely uncomfortable. They've described, because one of their paths that they go to get to their kingdom, instead of being paved, it was made from the fact that people just walk it so often. That's wild. And then they have the 3 girls performing, and they're wearing like animal masks and grass skirts and stuff like that, to like, and using drums, which is obviously like a more ethnic, I want to say probably either like, I think there are actually a decent number of ethnic cultures that would use that type of style in terms of like music and cultural performances, and that was described as wild, and it disgusted me. It truly just made my skin crawl every time the author used that word. I hated it. I hated this book, and I'm very upset because I actually really liked the first one. I thought the book was poorly written too, honestly. It felt like I was reading a Wattpad book where the person like out of nowhere starts adding, like, just thinks of a new plot thread and just adds it on, and you can clearly tell it's like first draft because nothing works together, and it's just throwing bullshit on top of bullshit. Yeah, no, I actually liked the first book of the series, But I also did feel there was a bit. I was uncomfortable with how they described drug abuse in that book, and now that I see that like those kinds of like that kind of discussion and that kind of like attitude towards certain things is more of a trait in the series, I just no longer want to be associated with that series. And so, yeah, we don't. I'm so sick. I was disappointed because I genuinely thought this was going to be a battle between this series and the Kingdom of Souls series for like my top book of the year, but now I literally don't want to be associated with the series in any way, shape, or form. It's disgusting. I could never recommend this book to anyone. 0 out of 10. Not interested. And then, last of all, we've got Iron Widow. I'm not going to talk about this book. I'm not going to read the description of this book, but if you want to know why I gave it this beautiful, beautiful 1 star, that is going to be on, I have another stream you can go check out of that, but that's all I'm going to say about this. And finally, some books that I also read throughout the month that I just didn't do a stream for. We've got The Reason I Jump, which is a nonfiction book about autism. I am autistic, and I just really liked, reading the book, seeing the representation. It is nonfiction though. But reading the book, seeing the representation, seeing something I could relate to, I really liked it. 5 stars. When They Call Me a Terrorist, I DNF'd this book. I think I'm just really, I don't want to say picky, but really not always in. I've always not been the person to read a documentary. I've never really liked documentaries growing up. I would much rather like sit and read a scientific paper than a documentary. And I think that's definitely going to be the same kind of thing with memoirs. It just kind of depends on like if my own ability to invest in the story being told, and it just I don't think I'm going to read a ton of memoirs. I don't think I'm going to try and read many memoirs going forward. But like nonfiction I'll probably get into more, or something that's like that I feel directly more related to, and like specifically like mental health and disability are things that clearly I have a better connection with than this particular story. I just couldn't really get into it. I tried so long. It was not even a long book. I want to say it was like a 4-hour book. I just could not do it. And so we moved on. I didn't want to like feel like I'm sitting through, because it's someone's life, I don't want to sit there and not really be invested, not really giving it the attention it should get. So we just moved on. Speaking of which, though, I did read Broken Places and Outer Spaces, which is also a memoir by Nadia Cordafor. I did like this book. I forgot why I gave it 4 stars. But never mind. Because in general, my like star ranking system is like a 1 star is I could never recommend this to anyone in my life. 2 star is I feel like I have to reread it before I can like give enough, like I feel like I need to reread it, just like see how I feel about it a second time, see if anything changes, or if maybe I just missed something that made it better. 3 star is it's worth a read. 4 star is if I come across it again, maybe I wouldn't mind checking it out. And 5 star is I pretty much have plans to reread this book again. And that's kind of why I gave it 4 stars. It's like I don't like, again, I'm not a big memoir person. I thought it was good. I'm just not dying to read it again. And then last but not least, actually no, this is technically not last, but I read the Southern Belle Insults series. I read the first 4. There's a 5th one. They're 30 minutes long. I don't know why I didn't just read the last one before the year ended, but I still haven't read it. I'll probably, when I finish reading it, I might do a stream on it. We'll see. But yeah, I really liked that series. I thought it was funny. I thought it was really funny and it's sweet and it's cute. And so I just threw it on a 5 star. It was good. It was a good time. And technically, when I say I didn't, that's technically not the last book I read. I also read a fan fiction by a friend of mine, which was 5 out of 5 stars. Great, it was a great little fan fiction. Loved it, but there wasn't a cover for it because they didn't have a cover for it. I don't know if people usually do covers for fan fiction unless it's like Wattpad, which it was not on Wattpad. But there was no cover for it, so I didn't put a cover up here. And obviously, I can't put that on Goodreads because it would not be on Goodreads, unfortunately. But yeah, that was also a book that I really liked. So that is my reading for the... Oh God. This is not what I meant to do. Yeah, this is my reading for the end of 2021. Next stream I do, I don't know if I'm going to do it tomorrow or if I'm going to do it Friday. We will see how I'm feeling on both of these days. But next stream I do is going to be my favorite stream. And after that, I still have one book to... Let's see. That's what I'm trying to say. After that, we start getting to the books that I have read 2022. I have finished one book so far this year. And... also was not a favorite, unfortunately. Very disappointed that my first book of the year was not great. But I have a massive TBR right now in my most recent progress report stream on my Nordney blog channel. I tell you my current plan in terms of reading. I have definitely... I've got over 50 books on my current TBR for this next year. Will not be reading all of them. Promise you that. But, we started. We tried. And that's what counts. Yeah, that's all I have for you right now. And thank you so much for watching. Until next time. Salutations, friends.